ideas, your hopes and dreams that you keep locked behind your fears. Why tarry? Why wait? Tomorrow's fair weather may come too late. You were born to be better, why deny what's true? A dream is just an ambition that you don't pursue. Have courage, be brave. Take a chance or take your chances to your grave. You've got a hunger, you've got a need. What you're denying, what you believe. You've got to take pride in who you are. Know you deserve all this and more. Nothing is written, nothing is set. If you want the future, you've got to get it. They may be smarter, they may be stronger, but you've a will and you've got a hunger. Oh, oh, oh. I want to see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I want to see you rise up, rise up. Oh. Why deny when you know what your heart desires? You want to burn bright, then you know you've got to feed the fire. One flash, one flicker, one spark, and then your heart beats quicker. You're gonna fail and you're gonna fall. You're gonna gamble and lose it all. You're gonna bleed and you're gonna cry, but better to fail than never to try. Those are the risks when you're a contender. Scars that mark you from a pretender. When no one knocks you down, then you get right back up against it and show them all just who they're fucking with. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, rise up, rise up. The forest falls one tree at a time, so keep your eyes on the prize at the end of the line and be wise. Just remember what the scholars say. When you got one shot, you don't throw it away. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh. Rise up, rise up. I see you with your goals and your big ideas, your hopes and dreams that you keep locked behind your fears. Why tarry? Why wait? Tomorrow's fair weather may come too late. You were born to be better, why deny what's true? A dream is just an ambition that you don't pursue. Have courage, be brave. Take a chance or take your chances to your grave. You've got a hunger, you've got a need. What you're denying, what you believe. You've got to take pride in who you are. Know you deserve all this and more. Nothing is written, nothing is set. If you want the future, you've got to get it. They may be smarter, they may be stronger, but you've a will and you've got a hunger. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh. Why deny when you know what your heart desires? You want to burn bright.
Just give me prompts what I'm supposed to say.
Oh, we're already live, mate. It's all good. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I have a tendency to do this because I'm a bit of a dick. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for coming along to the stream. Me and Darren have just been chatting away behind everything about what's going on and about everything. So it's been really nice. Yes, yeah, the mug explodes. I've got a little tip jar in the middle of the screen on the stream, and people can donate and stuff like that. So,
This is a very new world for me. I live in this box here. I've got my room over there. These two rooms are kind of my life for a very large chunk of the day.
oh yes, yeah, definitely. Um, right, okay. So basically, so what we'll do is we're going to go through. We'll have a chat about because everyone here is coming to play Empire pretty much. So we can have a chat about all of that, and we can have a chat about what you do and things like that, and we'll carry on. We'll go from there. So hi everyone, thanks for coming along to watch. We've got quite a few people in chat, which is good to see. Darren has very kindly, after a little bit of replanning here and there and MOTs jumping up, we've finally collared him. So very much looking forward to this one. So because the weapons that we had bought from Darren turned up yesterday, so I was very excited about that. So I'll move Andy's axe out of the way so he can't.
It's all right. I like Andy's stuff.
Yeah, I know, but so yeah. So we got a lot of stuff. So any questions about about weapons or anything like that, or props? We've got a thumbnail that Matt has made of Mr. Pinchy that you made, I believe. The giant lobster thing.
Oh god damn.
Yeah.
There's two of those.
Yes.
A pair of them.
Yeah.
They were made for an old game that sort of didn't last more than a year, but we were very lucky. I thought they had died in a lockup because we made the two lobsters, and there's two blue beast lizard creatures as well we made for the same thing. And I think LT have got the lizard things, and I'm not sure who's got the lobsters anymore. Yeah, I was there. Out of all the stuff I've ever made, the lobsters are by far my favourite.
Yes, I've had the pleasure of being a lobster in a battle, so they are great fun. I like monstering. I think I'm quite broad, so they'd like to chuck stuff on you and stuff like that. It's quite nice. Hi George, I saw you redeem that, mate. I will have to get to that another stream, I'm afraid, because it's not really fitting in with this. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, so
monster cutting is kind of my hobby in addition to the weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw something that you had made. I believe it was power armor. No,
Space Marines.
Space Marines. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Another guilty pleasure.
Because I think you've got a tattoo of them as well, haven't you?
I've got a Raven Guard tattoo there, which occasionally I get told of. That's very right wing. No, it's Raven Guard. Honestly, it's 40k nerdiness. It's fine.
So yeah, it's so there's a lot of stuff that goes into all of this because when you turn up to the field, you're generally there and you're setting. How long does it take for you to set up your tent with all of the weapons and unpack the van?
The normal setup, if it's not blown a gale or there's other things going on, usually we'll set up the tent in about 3 hours on average. And then setting the shop up, that's the bit that takes time. Once you've got your racks up, then you're pretty much putting all the stock out, deciding you don't like where that particular element of stock is, moving that to the other side of the room. It's you're trying to work out each event's got a different feel. Like Empire's a very good example. Because each culture has their own little bias, their own little style of thing they want. So, right, this area is going to be for Wintermark. We're going to put all the Navarre stuff over here, and you try to tailor it that way.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a game like Lorien Trust, it's a little bit different, but still you've got the factions. So I'm going to put all my bear stuff, all the Scottish Highland gear over in this corner. We're going to have the Viking stuff, the wolves over here. But you try to tailor each shop you do to the event you're at.
Yeah.
It can sometimes take you the entirety of a day. We try to get there between Wednesday and Thursday. It's better to get there as early as possible because it's really hard to set a shop up when people are going, oh, what's in this bag? Get off.
They go through your bags.
Often.
Oh my god, that's awful.
We were setting up at Drakenfest. I was literally getting the shields, which were all bagged up, out of the van putting them on the floor, going to get another one, turning around, there's 3 people over this bag, just opening the bag up, pulling it. Well, this is nice. How much is this?
Oh my god, I can't imagine it.
You're on your toes with some of these games.
Yeah.
Because we're a weapons and prop seller, usually our days, like the first 2 days of any show, is we'll have people come in all the time. And you're off your feet all the time. And then it quietens down for the rest of the weekend. Mostly. Each event has its own feel. I mean, the Empire one's quite good because you get a little bit of a rush at the beginning, but as soon as the game starts, then it's a bit more gradual throughout the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. People
like to come and shop in character, which is quite fun for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you get much chance to role play in the field at all, or?
Depends on the event. I've had some Empires where I've gone there and I've not left the shop. I've just not been able to leave the shop. We'll go off. We usually finish the shop around about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If we can. Sometimes I've been there till well past midnight, but we try to finish the shop around about 10 and then go around the camps. If I've got some staff with me, then I try to send them off. Then I'll finish the day up and then lock up and I'll go out and join them. But, yeah, some events are full on. You won't get a chance. You try to play it, but usually you're on the shop. You're doing your job.
Just seen that.
I like roleplay, so I try to get involved, but sometimes you're limited.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little thing. I've seen Kit has just jumped into chat. Kit has had a little baby girl today as well. So well done, mate. Really, really proud of you. You've done fantastic stuff. So fantastic. So yeah, much congrats from everyone here, mate. There we go. So Helen asked a question a little bit earlier. How did you get into weapon making? Steph did okay.
You really want to know that? That's one of those things. You make life choices and you look at them much later down the road going, that was a really silly thing to have done. It's a bit like that. I think we were talking about it before. It's like I wanted a particular weapon for a character I was playing back when I was first dying and couldn't find what I wanted. I had some friends, Stewie Chambers, who used to do the clan co-op, and he makes weapons. I fancy making a claymore. How do I do that? And then he taught me how to make it. I made this thing. I was walking around. This is about 95 from the gathering. So I walk around my two-handed sword, going, I'm feeling very jolly. Look, where did you get that? Well, I made this. Oh, can you make me one? And then you make your mate something. He gets his mate. Can you make me something? And then 10 years down the line, you find yourself sitting in a field going, better have a shop. Now, 25 years down the line, it's my vocation. Yeah,
and I'd like to say that you do very well as well. You have made some absolutely stunning pieces.
It's been really hard because you've got the making of stuff, but no one tells you at the beginning when you start this. There's a whole lot more to running a business than just making the thing.
Yeah.
And this year has actually been quite a highlight for that because we're not doing any field work at the minute. No. So the amount of time I'm spending wrapping stuff up is considerable, and emails and all that. But trial and error, you learn. I'm screwing up often.
Oh, I won't go that far. Sam's asked.
There's been clangers over the years, believe me.
Sam has said, obviously it takes a lot of practice and experience to make all this stuff. How many years do you think it took you to realise that you were a relatively good maker?
It doesn't stop. You'll make something, let's say a year ago, then you'll look at that thing you made a year and go, that's a pile of crap. I can do better. And that does not stop. You will do that from the beginning of this career, and I'll probably do that as I'm laying there at 75-year-old on my table with my sword. I can't see the blade anymore, but I'm sure it's nice. You basically learn by making mistakes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of you are an artist, aren't you? Really, so a lot of artists always say they're only as good as their previous piece. So it's always. Is it that
with
sort
this
of thing?
game more to it because a few of us that are in this have developed live action roleplay weapons from back in the day to what they are today. like the fretless spears or how swords are constructed. We've developed that. It's weird to look at the products we're getting now to when we're like the gaffer tape weapons. I mean, I've got a little soft spot gaffer tape weapons.
Yeah.
If my sword in the middle of an event, bit of gaffer tape. There we go. Good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I think you see a lot of people going around with a bit of good old bit of gaffer tape and stuff like that as well. So, you've had. Oh, geez, they're all coming in now. What are your top tips for weapons making and your top tips for looking after your weapons?
On the making, take your time. Rush nothing. If you're not happy with it, do it again, and you'll be much happier doing it that way. Because it's not a quick job. Not a quick job, especially learning, for example, the glue. I mean, a lot of people will be using things like Evo Stick they'll get from B&Q. You've got to work out the little window between it being useful sticky and completely useless. There's a little window in between time. And if you do it too late, it doesn't stick together very long. Or if you do it too early, again, it doesn't stick together. So these little things you will learn by just trying it out.
Yeah.
Looking after your weapons. Well, there's a whole list. Don't let your dog eat it. You'll be surprised how many times I've had weapons brought into the shop going, it's broken. Your dog's clearly eaten that. Silicone, it's very good. At the end of the weekend, clean off the mud because the mud can sometimes have acidic properties, and that's not great for latex. So clean that down with water and a little bit of washing up liquid. And put a little bit of silicone spray or talcum powder over it, and it'll just keep it in good working condition. Watch out for greasing is often a problem. That's often when people have put the weapon down and just give it a lift and give it a squeeze just to work the foam back in, because it'll just compress over time. And the obvious one today is don't put your blade tip down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll move that so you can see the tips there, so that's fine.
It's just they are designed to take a knock or two. The only real thing that will degrade over time is they won't look as shiny. As long as you look after them, they'll tend to last. I mean, I've had weapons brought into the shop that are over 10 years old. It's still going strong. The latex can be a little bit ratty here and there, but it's still going strong, perfectly safe.
Yeah. People are cheering, fill the mug. Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you. Helen's said I missed Sam. No, I definitely asked Sam's questions. What props or weapons take the longest to make?
Swords. If you imagine a sword, I'll go for it like an axe. You've done your shaft. You're pretty much done. You don't have to worry too much about that. You build the head, you shape that. But swords need carving on every square inch of it. Out of everything I do, the swords take the longest. I can make about 3 axes to 1 sword. Give you an idea.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, I've got. So this is one of Darren's swords here. So.
Oh yeah. As my wife just said, flames. They take far longer than all of it.
So this is a thing of absolute beauty.
Literally carving and detailing on every square inch of it.
Yeah, it is absolutely wonderful. I think some of your latex has come off. Oh no, that's the light. Ignore me. Sorry.
Don't do that.
No, that's the. I've got lights all around me, so I can get this sort of effect. 'Cause this is a green screen behind me, so I've got so. Yeah, no, it was.
Can't pull off a weapon because we put about 4 layers of glue over the blade before we put latex on it. Because we sell a lot of stuff to hot countries now. If you the old days before we did this gluing, if you left your sword out in the sun, I appear to have a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Gases inside it start to expand, and that's what causes your bubbling on weapons. The way we get around that these days is as soon as we've finished the carve, we put a layer of glue over it, and then we apply the latex and all the rest of the layers, and that's how we deal with that problem.
Excellent. So axes are the easiest and swords are the hardest.
Maces are a bit easier than axes.
Okay. Yeah, see, I am partial to a good, yeah, mace or a hammer or something like that. So I do like that.
We do try to over-engineer our stuff. Like the axes there have got like triple reinforcing on them.
Hmm.
You've got reinforcing in the head, you've got
Yeah,
reinforcing on the other side of the body, and then you've got more reinforcing, basically pulling it all together.
yeah,
We had a friend of ours at one of the Drakenfest events get one of our Dane axes, hook it over a tree branch, and he pulled himself up.
really,
Quite burly chap. He pulled himself up with one of the Dane axes. And that's
that's
what we try
amazing.
to do. We over-engineer these things because while they are pretty and they can be classed as works of art, at the end of the day, this big burly chap's going to hit his mate in the face with this work of art you've spent all this time on. You have to have a degree of separation. It's yours
Yes.
now. Don't do me.
So Ben Wagner has asked. He actually bought a shield from you. Ben did. So he's asked, when you get a request from a client, what's the process from start to end?
Get as clear an idea of what the client wants before you start is the best advice, because you're trying to basically decipher a client's idea in his head to a physical object.
Yeah.
And sometimes people can visualize easily and you can pick out the details you need to make the project. Other times you need to help them along as well. And usually I send them a lot of pictures. Is this what you mean? Is this the right color? Is this the imagery you want? And then once you've got the image right, then you need to work out the job specs. What do you need this to do? How heavy-handed are you, for example?
Right. So okay. Yeah. I can understand that. So it's are you going to be picking yourself up into a tree with it, sort of thing? Yeah. That's cool.
Rangers are a good example of that. You've got someone, I want to play Musketeer, and I want a really fine rapier to go with his character.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use like a broadsword. So for more, I take that right. Instead of using a very thin blade, I'm going to take the blade up a little bit on here. It's that sort of thing you need to sort of work out with the client before you start laying glue to foam.
So what's the weirdest thing that you've been asked to make then?
That's not a question you want to ask a props maker.
Okay, well, nothing sexual, but what's the weirdest thing?
Horrible things. I mean, I've made a lot of chaos stuff over the years, and some of those are really cool. Like I've done a couple of Hellblades from some of the Bloodletters, and they've got spikes and twirls and faces carved into the blade. They're a lot of fun. So if you do some of the Warhammer high fantasy stuff, you can really go to town on stuff. Yeah. I'm just working on a batch of dwarf stuff. I'm sort of going through the Warhammer books, going, oh, that's a nice bit of detailing. I can work on the head. And that's where I get a lot of love for what I do. I mean, you bear in mind, we often do all-nighters just to finish a job off.
Really?
You're sitting there after 3 days of working on this one thing and say, yes. Happy with that. Now I'm going to send it to the customer and get on with the next job.
Yeah. So you must get to points where you're going, I really like that, and then you pack it up and you send it off, and it's like, oh, do I make myself one of those now? Is that the sort of thing that are you like that? Or?
Yeah, that has happened. That has happened quite often. At the minute, I've not got many player characters I'm sort of playing with. I've got my Empire one, and I've got a Viking one, but I'm not involved in a lot of games in a minute. I'm sort of in that middle ground. A lot of games have finished off over the last couple of years, and I'm sort of going. And saying that, we are going to Curious Pastimes next year, and we're going to make some full Beastmen. We're going to be proper Warhammer Beastmen characters. Fancy doing something proper.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I could get behind that.
It'll be quite warm.
Yeah. Oh, very, very warm. Yeah. Smo has asked, have you heard of Flexi Paint, and what are your thoughts on it if you have?
It's good for cosplay.
I think that's pretty much all we needed to hear on that one.
It makes things pretty.
Yeah.
The whole reason, I mean, it's the same with the injection molding stuff. The reason a lot of me and my colleagues don't use injection molding is it doesn't do the job we need it to do. It's not good enough yet to do the job we need. We use latex and we use the Isoflex and various other things because basically these things are being hit against metal, chainmail, trees, and FlexiPaint just doesn't have the strength.
No, I can understand that. So with these sorts of things, then you are really building them to last.
Yeah, but that's it. We do a 2-year warranty on everything we make. If I use FlexiPaint, I can't.
No.
Because basically these things we often have weapons brought back to the shop at various events. Oh, this is damaged, and I can tell you straight away what's done what to a weapon just from the amount of experience we've got. As that's plate mail, that's chain mail, that's this, that's the other, because we've seen it. We know what does what to foam and latex. I've seen FlexiPaint stuff come back and it just shredded. And going, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But you shouldn't have hit it against that man in that plate armor.
We've got a few cosplayers who have come into this community, and they are the keenest people in the world. It's fantastic to chat to them.
I love cosplayers. Some of their stuff. I've seen some of the most amazing costumes in the world from some of the cosplay shows I've gone to. They're absolutely beautiful. The skill levels are insane.
Yeah, really, really are. There's we've got some reenactors joining as well, and it's such we've got a mishmash from all over the place, and it's absolutely fantastic to hear what they want, their character designs, and all of this sort of stuff. So everyone cheering and putting bits in my mug. Thank you so much for doing that. Basically on the stream I've got a little mug, so it's like the stream looks like we're sat in a tavern basically, and so I can see the chat. There's some little bits and bobs. What I'll do is I'll when we're done and I put it onto YouTube, I'll send you the link so you can see what it looked like, and there's a glass that's set up there as well. And basically, if people donate bits, it's like a little bit of cash. It's not a huge amount, and anytime they donate, little bits fall into the mug, and so the mug slowly starts filling up. It's really cool. So, but yeah, we've got lots of people who are really, really keen and doing fantastic. So everyone's saying, I love that sword, the axes, people are commenting on it. So if one of my mods can do the exclamation ad for me, they will. It will put the link up for Darren's site for the Irregular Props shop in there as well.
I've got on that yet. We went through all the axes today. I've got a lot of work to do over the weekend just to get them all up on the shop yet.
Yeah,
that's it. They never told me about when I was young.
Oh yeah, there we go. It's all gone up. That's good. Yeah, so there's loads. There's so much stuff. It's So I've got loads of questions here for you, Darren. It's so what's your favourite LARP to attend? Favourite LARP to attend and play and to sell at?
Well, they've all got little pluses. I love the Lorien Trust. Absolutely love going there. It's such a good, welcoming atmosphere. It's a really good game to play. I love the Bears. Shout out to the Bears. I'm a big fan of Empire as well. It's basically, it's all got different things. Empire is a bit more serious. You've got all the cultures going on. It's a bit more your Lord of the Rings style atmosphere because they're trying to get that immersion. Whereas I've always found the Lorien Trust a bit more strong on the gameplay because everything's dangerous. I'm going to the tavern now. I better take a sword because it's dangerous going from my shop to the tavern. And I quite like the danger feel to that. There's also smaller games. Also, we get a lot of love out. So we've got iLarp, who does a game called Bindrune that's coming up. Solid Vikings. Get your Viking gear on. Go be a Viking in the woods. You can't really ask for more than that. The other thing I like a good horror game as well. Okay. I'm really on the hunt for a good quality horror game to go and get scared. I used to run one in the country, and I basically want to play my own game. But
I think I remember seeing something about a Call of Cthulhu style one.
There's a couple coming out. I'm still. I was about to go do loads of research and go to them this year, but obviously that was took out of my.
That's not happening. Unfortunately, yeah. So what all questions? George has asked any more details on the giveaway. It's going to be at the end of the month for that one, George, and then so I can finalise all the details on how I'm doing it. How forgiving is making a weapon? Can you undo any mistakes, or is it really grab another piece of foam and start again?
Well, bear in mind, I've been doing this a long time, so there are no mistakes. There are just happy accidents.
So you're the Bob Ross of LARP weapons, then, are you?
I've done things. I mean, back in the day, back in the early days of making weapons, there was a thing we called the battle damage weapons. So they had little notches and things out the blade.
Yeah.
The whole point of those was we absolutely ballsed up the carve. Right, let's cut a couple of notches. That's where they came from. These days, I've been doing this so long that if I want to do one of those, I have to do them deliberately now.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's so cool. I had no idea. So okay, so if you do make mistakes, there's ways around it, then you can recover
Yeah,
it.
I think again we're going back to swords. So I'm quite picky with my blades these days. They've got to be straight. They've got to have the proper carve. They can't have any wibbles in the edge because that just upsets me.
Yes.
But if I can see a divot, I can add foam to it and I can carve it and repolish it, and I can get the blade back to being what I would need it to be. So yeah, basically I can rework stuff until I'm happy with it.
That's cool. Abby has asked, what do you use instead of flexi paint?
I might have to straighten that one out a bit.
Oh my
a bit
God.
wobbly. What do I use instead of flexi paint? Latex for the most part. Latex mixed with acrylic paints. Again, you've got to be very careful what you're mixing with the latex, because if you use the wrong stuff, you get a chemical reaction. And we have a thing like we had many years ago where we had gold paint on latex weapons, and it had too much metal pigment in it. Now, after a year, that metal pigment basically starts rotting the latex.
Right, okay.
So we had hundreds of weapons over various traders, which were just turning sticky and horribly gooey. So again, this goes back to trial and error. We make mistakes, we learn from them.
Yes. Yeah. They So I think one of my lights has gone. Oh well. Where was it? I saw someone say there was something about all positive. So much more constructive criticism and encouragement in LARP. Reenactment is full of unpleasantness when it comes to costume. Have you experienced anything like that?
Everybody's got their detractors. I mean, depending on what. I mean, there used to be a thing called Rule 7, which was horrendous. I mean, I'm not a big fan of forums in LARP because one comment can lead to basically an argument which can derail so many good things.
Yeah.
I think it's not better these days. I mean, you can look back in the past at various forums where we've just exploded with like the drow argument or various things like that. So a good innocent thing, even if it's something that needs to be changed for what's going on in society, it can be approached in a much nicer way rather than starting the big insults to everyone.
Yes.
I feel it's a very careful thing you've got to tread. Is that positive criticism? I'm all for. Taking the piss or being horrible to people, totally against.
Yeah. Yeah, people just saying that they've been pushed away from doing things because of that negativity. I think with what I've got here, I don't like negativity on anything because
it's unnecessary. Is it? If someone doesn't like your costume, is that? Have you thought about using this or this rather than say your costume is shit? It's just there are ways of doing things and just being horrible.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so people sort of knew what was going on there. So yeah, so we've created a nice little. I think I've caught up with everything on chat now, so that's good. We've created a nice little community here, and it's all very positive. Everyone supports everyone. A hefty family, one might say. Excellent. Cheers, Dan. Love it, mate. So yeah, we've done quite well here, and everyone really wants to learn and to do things. We've got some very creative people there and stuff, and it's really nice to see. So when you first started off, then you didn't imagine that you would be doing this for a job years down the line.
I started when I was 16, and back then I was going to be an illustrator. I was going to make comics and do this sort of thing, and then I did all my college stuff and was looking and going, yeah, there's hundreds of people doing this a week. I don't think this is the way forward.
No.
And then I stumbled into live role play. My very first event was at Drum Hill, the Gathering at 93. And I remember going into that place and it was just, look, it was amazing. I was completely blown away. And back then there wasn't that many events. So you spent half the year preparing for the Gathering, then half the year talking about the Gathering you've just been to.
Yeah. We
did this for a bit.
Smo has asked, is hire me a reasonable question?
Yeah, surprising about. I've only got a little bit of space.
So, a question from Stug, the corgi. What is the biggest mistake you see on a regular basis, both from weapon makers and us users of said whackers? Obviously, we're not going to name any names or anything. It's just.
I was trying to think of a good answer to the question. What a toughie. What's the biggest mistake in Larp? Is that I was actually thinking about a possible better answer for that. Is like one of the biggest mistakes I see in Larp is worrying about looking like a fool.
Oh yeah.
You give away that everybody's going to look like an idiot to somebody else. So if you stop worrying about looking like an idiot, you're going to have some amazing fun. As I did this at Dumnonny Chronicles. I was stood on top of this tree stump. I was dressed as a wizard, blood and all sorts of stuff hanging off me. And I had my friend who was playing an opposite wizard, and we were having this Lord of the Rings moment of the Jedi stuff throwing each other backwards and forwards. And I had just that one moment of clarity, and so I looked down at myself, going, "What the hell am I doing?" I thought, this is amazing. Rah!
Fantastic.
I had the best encounter I've had in years. It was amazing. Just a simple fact. Stop worrying about looking like a fool.
Yeah.
When it comes to making stuff,
yeah,
I'd say don't worry about making mistakes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You've learned a lesson.
Yeah, I think definitely that. There are a lot of people who seem to be wanting to make their own stuff. And if it fails,
there are so many tutorials on YouTube on how to make stuff. I like when people make stuff, because then they can appreciate what goes into these things. And so it takes us away from just being a consumer person that produces. I mean, we get occasional customers which will treat us that way, and then they'll make something. It's like, oh shit, I actually now know how much work goes into this piece. I like that. Yeah. We often get people with questions on how things are put together, and I'm always happy to answer questions like that.
Have you considered making a video yourself on a tutorial on how to do it all?
There's so many of them, and they all have different ways of doing ones. I've had a few sent to me over the years, and I've looked at it and gone, "Are you doing it that way? Okay." I have my method. Other people have different ways of doing things, and I'll happily give advice, but you've got to learn how to use these materials. They are quite forgotten. They will let you make mistakes. Just have a play.
Yeah, I think that would be the best thing to do. So, what would be the best? Well, I suppose you've given the best piece of advice there to new people. So, when it comes to the actual making it and buying the materials and everything, what would you say to start off with? What, like make an axe or something like that, or go big and make a 7-foot spear, or
shields are good to make first. They are forgiving. There's not much you can go wrong that's going to endanger anybody else in a shield.
Okay.
After that, hammers and maces. We were talking about it before, making a stick with a big floofy hammer on the end, like the Harley Quinn big hammer. Brilliant thing to start with, because again, it's very forgiving. As long as you use upholstery foam, not solid foam, because that really hurts if you use solid foam.
Yeah. I think I tried to make a Larp weapon about 10 years ago, and I didn't know what I was doing. I guessed a lot of it, and I used a foam sleeping mat.
Oh yes, that's exactly how most of us started. We're talking about the gaff tape weapons. That's what was inside all of those gaff tape weapons. Go down to the local army surplus store, get some carry mats, that'll do me.
Yeah, and that was it. And I cut sheets out of it, and it was just all stuck together. to make the big head that I wanted, and then it was just something was put through, and then it was like that was wrapped and made the handle, done, and stuff like that. And I think the only thing it failed on was that I didn't put any air holes in it, so it could so you could give it a good squeeze. It was a bit too tough.
A lot of people do with the upholstery stuff because it's a big bubble. As soon as you put the latex or any covering on, you got a balloon on a stick.
That's fantastic. Excellent. So, any more questions coming in from chat at all? I've actually caught up now, so they're saying, "Oh, he's caught up. Ask more questions." So I've done well. It's a first for me. That's really good. So, what's your plan then for your? So, if money was no object for yourself, and you have a project, do you have a project in your mind that goes, "Oh, I'll get around to that at some point when I can," or anything like that? What's the
Green Dragon. Ooh, actually, my wife just mentioned there was an idea we had years ago, and it was basically taking a pirate ship, like a little cart pirate ship, with cannons and all that business.
I promised you'd make me one.
that was kind of a pipe dream. On a more realistic level, the next thing on my card is a full-size dragon costume, like the red one I've got on the website. But I want to make a nice big forest one, and I want to get it bigger.
Because I remember seeing your dragon that you were walking. I think that was Maelstrom. Was that Maelstrom? You walked around in a big.
The first one I made was the Maelstrom Red Dragon, and I'll have to put the pictures up because it's one of those things that evolved. So I made the basic shape, and thought, oh, I could add this or I could do this, and I just kept adding to the costume over the years. And from that, I worked out how the body moves. How far can you pad a chest out before you start not being able to use the arms properly? And all these sort of lessons, like we were talking about the lobster costumes, that thing is designed so people can go to town on you and you won't feel a thing. All the pad, like over the groin area, there's a substantial padding. The very first time I wore the lobster costumes at the Scurvy Scum,
I know Scurvy Scum.
Yeah. Was scared. Her initial fight or flight kicked in, and she landed a hefty boot between my legs. I was like, if that padding wasn't there, you would have won this round, madam.
I haven't done Scurvy Scum. That's a blast from the past for me, that one.
It is. It was glorious.
It
glorious
was
game.
So much fun. It's so much fun. Okay, I know everyone's asked questions again. We've got loads coming in. So Abby says it's really nice to see how passionate you are about your work.
You've got to be. I literally, the hours I can work, I would literally do a 14, 15 hour day without realising it. And you do that 5 days a week, if not 7.
Yeah.
If you didn't have love for it, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work.
No. I do love to see every now and again you'll post something up on Facebook, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning finish, and it's like I couldn't do this. I couldn't do it. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
It's a project thing. If you've got a project on the deck, the project's got to get done. It can be quite unforgiving. It's like when we have the shows, like the show we have to leave Thursday morning.
Yes.
Right, there's 4 pieces over there. And it's Wednesday. Shit. Right, here we go. And we've often worked through the night just to get stuff finished up.
So does your wife help with all of this as well then, does she?
She's the brains behind the outfit. I'm an artist.
We know that. We know that she's the brains, mate. That's not in question here.
I fully acknowledge that without her I'd probably turn into a good big gooey pile.
No, that's fantastic. So, but it is great to see the passion and all that. So,
But she's also, I know it's easy, but she's inspiration as well, because she'll often come into when I'm making a batch of, say, the axes.
Yeah.
Have you thought about sort of trying that out, or we could do this different color technique on this? That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. Away I'll go.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens.
It's nice having someone else.
Yeah, definitely, because with all of this streaming stuff, I mean, for me it's anxiety and stuff. So, and I just like, well, what's the point in doing it anymore? And if it wasn't for my other half, I wouldn't have got this far doing it. So I think
it's easy to get, very easy to get swamped and disillusioned. Is that, and that's when things start becoming a job, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that how? Occasionally, with the stuff we do here, occasionally we step back. I'm doing I've got the spray rooms filled with swords. I've got another 2 coats of latex upon it. I can't face that right now. I'll go off and do something else for a bit, and it just keeps it going, keeps the momentum.
Yes, yeah. Well, if there's, I mean, have you ever considered like opening up the workshop at all and getting like doing like a little, get people in and say, oh, come and make your own sword, axe, mace, or something like that. We'll do that for a day, or.
We do a couple of very limited, because we haven't got a huge amount of space. No. We've done a couple of those for a few of our friends. A friend of mine brought his kids down, and then in the process of making their own weapons for Empire. We do it occasionally. We were thinking about doing a couple this year, but again, situation, and sort of shot that down.
We had a bigger workshop.
And we had a bigger workshop. We've done a couple of tutorials as well. We are looking at doing some over winter. I'll go through how to build an axe. I'll go through how to build a sword. I'll do things. This is the Irregular Props way of doing this. And it might give somebody some inspiration on how to do stuff.
Yeah, well,
as I say, there's hundreds of these things on YouTube. There's I think every maker's got one. I haven't done one yet. I think I'm due.
Well, if you want any help with it, mate, I'll be more than happy to help out, and I can do whatever I can for you. Probably not much from being on the south coast, but you know, the thought is there. What else have we got? Do you do any outfit making? This is from George, or is it just purely weapons and costume? Or I'd say.
We pretty much make anything. We make, like we were talking about, the lobster costumes, dragon costumes. We're making some full Warhammer Beastmen. I've done a lot of armor work over the years, full leather armor and that pieces. I mean, I kind of do that as a hobby rather than a job, because I've got a couple of friends who are superb leather workers. So if I actually want a piece of leather work, I say, would you mind awfully just knocking me up a gambeson? I need it for next week. It's better on their expertise, because they know. I know how all this stuff works. Level. They know how to work their materials at a very fine level, a damn sight quicker than I could make something.
So, do other workers and crafters and makers and that come? Do they come to you and say, oh, "I've been asked to make like 17 axes or something like that. If I chuck half to you, can you take this many and stuff like that?" Do you like spread the load a little bit?
It depends on the job. We do that quite a lot for film and theatre work. Basically, if one of the other makers needs help, or if I've ever needed help, we get in touch with each other, and often we help each other out.
Eldritch helped us on issues.
Eldritch, Mike Light from Night Armories, Damon Abba from Battle Ready. We all help each other out over the years. I mean, you have to, really.
Yeah.
It's not that big an industry.
Yeah, build up those nice connections and things like that. So,
you have to do the things that I often say. A lot of these small makers, we're going head to head with some pretty big companies. So, for example, Mifflon, when we go to Germany, we've got all our handmade stuff, and then we're going head to head with these companies that are just churning stuff out.
Yeah.
It can be a very hard gig.
I can imagine. I don't think we've ever on the channel or thing ever even mentioned them. I think we're very much on these people put the time and effort in. Let's keep it. Yeah, let's keep it like this. So yeah.
If you want something off the page that's basic as crap, then they're fantastic people to contact. But if you actually want something more fitting for you, I mean, struggle a little bit with some of the weapons coming across. As well, they're fantastic for if you're wearing full plate armor. They're lovely. They look like real weapons. They handle like real weapons. They're fantastic. But if you're not wearing armor, they hurt like hell.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is this where the injection molded stuff? Is that where? Because that doesn't pass weapons check in places, does it either?
it's too cold, it's got like getting hit by a brick. If it's too hot, it goes really soft, and then you're getting hit by the core. There's a reason we don't do it.
Yeah.
One day it'll be right. One day we'll get the materials where we can. I mean, I'd love to spend a week making a perfect blade and then casting like 50 blades up in a day. It'd be wonderful. I'd be so happy.
Ben's asked, have you ever tried making bows and arrows, or is that something you're not really interested in?
As a hobby, I've made a couple of longbows in my time as a hobby. It's not something that I do often. I love going down to shoot arrows down. There's a site in Loughborough we often go down for a visit.
Yeah.
Archery weapons.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of lovely longbows, like a 60-pound longbow I like to take down there.
Very nice.
Put a couple of arrows. It's a very good day.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually making a longbow, there's a lot of science in there, and you don't want to get it wrong.
No, definitely not.
Longbows are really easier because it's a lot more forgiving when you're only doing up to 30-pound draw weight.
Yeah.
I mean, most systems are about 30-pound, if I remember rightly.
Mm. So, a Southern Bard has asked, do you make LARP safe surgeon stuff, like the cordless tools or anything like that? Yeah?
Yes, we do.
There you go. If a mod can do the ads thing again for me, so we can get the link to the shop, and then so go and have a look at that as well there. So I think that's Alex actually. So if no one's going to ask, what's the weirdest thing you have ever made, or the thing that have made you feel the most proud?
Oh, the thing I made most proud. I reckon the Blue Dragon. The thing that made me the most proud.
Yeah.
Because I designed it so it could run, and we did an event in Stockwood in Gloucester, and it's got a little walkway that leads up to these walls, and all the players decided to hide on top of this thing. I ran up the stairs and chased them around like a Benny Hill moment. Beautiful. Yeah, and the other thing I'd have to say is the Space Marine. I got my Raven Guard Space Marine I like to bring out to play.
Yeah.
It makes me very happy.
Yeah, that is a thing of beauty. That really, really is. That's amazing. What's your favourite part of my God, I can't speak today. I don't know what's going wrong with me. What's the favourite part of weapons making for you?
Carve. Once you've done the basic build,
Yeah.
and you can start getting the carve and get the lines right and putting the detail in, that I really enjoy. That is really nice. Yeah. The second bit I really enjoy is the final paint finish. And when you get the colours, you've done the airbrushing and getting all that detail right.
Yeah.
So basically, I think we're down to the two finishing steps of the carve and the paint, because you can see the product.
Yeah.
When you're just sticking it together, it's kind of a job.
Yeah, I can understand.
You don't get to see the.
No. So
Actually, saying that, there is one I really enjoy is when I'm carving something. So you got your block. So I'm making a sculpture. I've got a wolf head to do for a customer for a shield boss. I've sort of lined up the foam. So that's something I want to be doing next week. I'm looking forward to that. I've got my block, and when it starts to take shape and you can get the little details in, that's a lot of fun. That's very.
That's cool. LARP safe potato, yes or no? There's a bit of a story to this one. My character in Wintermark and Chris Trott, we're Mac. We play.
They would died. Oh wait, is it coming back?
That's really strange. I think Discord.
There he's back.
Yeah, I think Discord just dropped me there. That was bizarre. Let me just check everything. Is everything all right in chat? Is everything good? Let's just see. Let's have a look. Everything seems to be all right. Everything's good. All good. We're all good. So yeah, we had basically the backstory was there was a magic was used on his farm, so everything was bigger, and then the only thing after his the farm was burnt to things was this last potato that was about yay big. So someone made a LARP safe potato for us. Would you?
Is that
well,
Goblin Workshop?
Sorry, say it again.
That Goblin Workshop? I think that's it.
No, I think it was. I think it was a Rob Willett special.
Fair enough.
So yeah, he I think it was like a tenner, and he just went, there you go. He threw something together, and it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. But I think we're at a point where we probably need something a bit. Well, I think it needs to be remade because it got left very, very wet somewhere, and it's now.
Weapons. They are often a.
Yeah.
Oh, I've took 10 of them with me onto the battlefield. I've got one left. Yay.
So, yeah, small, yeah. Okay, yeah. So it looks like you're going to get an email about making some stuff. Then at the moment, so this is good.
I kind of dream of getting a Larp safe potato and putting it in a sock. That seems like a fun weapon to have.
Oh,
Sock tank flail.
yeah. See, that would be good. I'd love to have another. I'd love to have another Larp safe potato. It's become a bit of a thing on this channel. It really has. It's great. Helen has asked, have you ever made any cambion horns?
Yes, I have. I don't know if I've got. Where is he? I mean, we've been doing a few masks. It's going to be chaos. But we do the curvy. I think you can see it in there. But yeah, we do all sorts of horn shape. So yes, we can do that.
That is amazing.
I started at Christmas this year. I had a passion for making some masks, but I wanted to do some Larp masks. I wanted to play a character, but I want to be able to talk normally. I want to breathe normally. I want to be able to drink and eat. So I made these just go on the head and leave all the bottom empty. And this is what sort of started us going, right, I want to play a character at Curious Pastimes. I want to be a Beastman. And I made those.
Yeah, I've seen a load of your masks being advertised, and they do look fantastic. Helen said that she made her own cambion horns. Never again. They will be forever be bought elsewhere. So
They're a bit of a pain because they're really awkward to get your hands around.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely do anything crafty at all, so I just don't bother. It's everything I try to make is just an absolute disaster, unfortunately. So, because you make animal half masks, don't you? Because I think I saw a bear.
So I've got in the garage at the minute a big pile. I made all the bears, wolves, and that sort of thing. I thought, what would a deer look like? Would that be fun? So I've got a load in there that just need the fur putting on. That's something that's going to be coming out quite soon.
Yeah.
I think we did antelopes. I've got some Skaven to come out. I've got some rabbits to come out. The rabbits, I've done 2 rabbits so far. One for a customer, one kind of for myself. I don't know the rabbit, but I've got it there.
I see. Yeah. Oh my god. So Sam's asked. Oh, I have to scroll back up to it. Sam's asked, what's the go-to paint for weapons and armor?
Go-to paint? I'd say acrylic, a good quality acrylic, because when it's dry, it's waterproof.
Yeah. So not buying it from the works or anything like that, where it's like £1 a bottle.
If it says pasta paint, it's not going to be your friend.
Because I think that's what I used as well. So yeah.
I mean, most acrylics, they turn into basically a plastic. So when they're dry, that's it, they're done. But they're not that. They're adhesion, depending what you're painting it on. If you're painting on like a latex shield, you should be all right, as long as you've took the silicone off. Yeah, that's a good example. Basically, this here is some acrylic that's dried. You see, it's got a little bit of stretch to it.
Yeah.
That's just pure acrylic paint. So once you mix that with latex, you can give it a good stretch as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you're going to repaint something, acrylic's the way to go.
Yeah. What's the best and worst thing you've seen someone do with one of your props?
Youngster, I made, it was a maid staff, a 42-inch maid staff. It had lovely crystals. It was a really nice piece of work. And I sold it to him. I went to get a burger at some point during the weekend, and I was stood on this balcony looking down into this field, and I was watching this kid launch this thing into the air as high as he could, and it bouncing off the floor. and I'm just watching it going, his dad's going to bring that back in a couple of hours. I said, oh, he's broke it. Oh. Yeah, I think that up and out is the worst one I've had. I've had a few weapons sort of shutting car doors, or the dog episode where the dog the sword in the fire. That's a good one. Heroic chap, sword in his scabbard, talking to his colleagues, all very heroic. Tip of his sword's in the fire, sort of burning quite merrily away.
Yeah.
He was very sheepish. Is there anything you can do with that? And I was sort of going, I could strip the blade off and put a new blade on it because that's knackered.
Yeah, that's awful. You see it so often though. Is when people get a little bit too drunk and they're sat down at the fire and they sort of like move things out of the way. They're not paying attention, and then you get that smell.
I think he was literally doing the heroic 1 foot up on the barrel, hand on the sword, blah blah blah. I think it was one of those moments, and he wanted to be backlit with the fire. I'm sure it looked amazing.
Oh my god. Stoke the Cool said, my wife has suddenly woken up at the sound of Skaven. Oh, yeah, I do enjoy the... Ooh.
Yeah, he's not painted, but that's the base of one of the Skaven masks. See the little teeth there.
Wonderful.
I'm still working on what the ears look like, because I'm trying to make like a rat, but the ear shape for a rat is really difficult to do on a large scale without it looking like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I think I saw something with the rat ogres as well. I think I saw a picture. Someone had made a rat ogre. I think I might have been Mandala.
Yeah, I remember this.
I think I saw that as well, and that was just like, oh god, that looks amazing. That looks huge.
It's worth looking at some of the European Warhammer Larps, because it's a big thing over in Europe.
Yeah.
And I've managed to find a couple of Instagram ones, and they've got full Chaos Demons, Chaos Warriors. They look amazing. But there's a couple of Skaven there as well. They basically took them straight out of the Warhammer books. So they're proper big jowly teeth all over the place, but they look amazing. And so occasionally I get a little bit of inspiration from some of the stuff they do. We did a game, Epic Empires.
Yeah.
Basically Warhammer. And so I've managed to get over there. We've just done Drakenfest and Conquest, and that's basically my holiday, was to go to this Epic Empires event. And I was just walking around all these fortifications, looking at this Empire full knight with his great two-handed sword, the lance neck trousers. It looked absolutely amazing. I've just basically spent the weekend as well. Oh, it's pretty. And then I managed to get myself up into the Chaos Camp. And it was like walking into a Warhammer Chaos Camp. There's Nurgle Warrior. He's definitely a Khorne warrior.
That sounds
fantastic.
I can imagine. So, do you ever play the Total War Warhammer 2 game?
I've never had a laptop that could even look at it. So, no, I've not had that. Basically, the laptops I've ever had have been quite functional. I can do email. I can play very basic games.
Right. Okay. Because that's I have a love for the orcs. I think it's developing and becoming quite unhealthy. And that's so. But then they released the Lizard Men DLC for it, and I've been playing that.
I'm a Lizard Man. I'm a big Lizard Man fan.
Yeah, I bought my other half Helen. She really likes them. And so she's got a unit of skinks. I was just looking up to see if I could see it, but yeah, she's got a unit of skinks that she really likes. She's more of a ranged person, whereas I'm more of a give me the biggest thing that you've got that can hit the hardest, and I like that a lot. So, but yeah, so I do like that. So I might have to have a look at some of those European ones, because one of the things that I've said for the channel is that I would love to, if I got big enough, would be to take a large group over to Drakenfest. And that
it's worth going to see the Lord of the Rings style orcs there. There's a company called what is it? Ungerbuild. And they do the full head masks. Yeah. And I've got 6. Every year I went, I go, that's amazing. Have that. I've got 6 of these lovely orc masks that just they work with the face. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, we get
there's you can just about see it.
Yeah.
Very little bit. Yeah, they're basically Lord of the Rings orcs. They look amazing. But there's a whole army of them. You're talking like 100 odd people, fully dressed, the leather armor, all the weapons. When you see these guys running out of their fortifications, time to run.
I'm not that sensible, unfortunately. But they get the Imperial Orcs from Empire. A lot of them go. As Smo's just said that she's got one of their masks, and they're really high quality. Yeah. So they all recommend them a lot. So yeah, both mats and stuff. It's fantastic to see. But I'm more of a I don't know. I don't know how I feel about wearing it. I want to play an Imperial Orc, but
I'll give you this bit of advice.
Go.
Get captured by the Orcs. You get captured by the Orcs, they take you into their camp, and it'll be a lot of fun. You'll really, really enjoy it. It'll be horrible. It'll be terrible things, but you'll really enjoy it.
That's the best thing. I said it's fine. They do human sacrifice over there. Wow. Because I heard that Dragonfest has like a thing where they say, oh yeah, you can bring your characters from other systems over. It's like a timeline thing. Something has happened magical, and you've now appeared here, but you can't come here to do like an invasion or things like that. So I was thinking it would be quite fun to bring my Wintermark character over there and just be in awe of it all. So I would love to do that.
Yeah, but obviously with things going on, we were planning on taking an big shop. We tend to trade at Drakenfest, and then we go and play the Conquest. But with Draken, there's so much to see and do. I mean, the town itself is massive. You could spend a lot of time just walking around the town and the markets. And there's the rest of the event. Yeah, I have seen a lot of it. They do. They've got their own Twitch channel, and they do a lot of talking, but it's all in German, and my German's not what it once was. I wouldn't worry about it. The Germans are so inclusive in their game. I mean, it's embarrassing. Every German I've ever spoke to at any of these events says, "Oh, you're English. I will speak flawless English at you. My English isn't that good in flawless English."
Yeah.
Right, well.
Yeah, you're going to speak better English at me than I speak. Yeah, it's fantastic. But that was one of the things I heard. But on their Twitch channel, it's just German. So, but I mean that's fine. You still get to watch them and see everything that they do and the fights and the battles, and they've got a big fort as well, haven't they? Well, I say a big fort, a huge fort. So there's
everyone. All of the camps have their own fort.
Really? Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. That's and I'm looking at our 7-meter bell tent in Wintermark, going, this is so cool. They've got forts set up everywhere. Oh man, I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, come on, maths work for me. So George has asked, what's the most decorated and intricate piece that you've done?
I think we're going back to the chaos stuff.
Yeah.
If you can stick a spike or a skull on it, away you go.
That's excellent.
Yeah, well, you've got the shields, obviously. You can really go to town and detailing on the shields. When it comes to weapons, you're a little bit limited on how much space you can stick on these things. I did quite a nice Warhammer with a full raven, or sort of all carved down the blade. That was quite fun.
Yeah. So what?
I have to get a little bit sometimes.
Abby has asked, what would be the dream commission job item that you'd like to do? I think we touched on it a bit earlier.
More dragons?
More dragons, yeah.
Give that anytime I like.
So we're waiting on Matt P to turn around to you to say, can you make us a big dragon, please? Pretty much.
Well, he thought about dragons for years. I think he's looking to go in a different direction these days for the monster kit.
Oh.
His last one was the rhinos. I'm not sure what's next on the cards, really.
Yeah, well, I like fighting the war rhino. They did the war rhino, the land shark, the Valorn are amazing to fight against. Big trees and stuff. I love that. So, but yeah, if you ever get in character and stuff, come over to where we are in Wintermark. and make sure you come and sit down and have a drink with us, or we'll be.
We're part of the journey, so we're often over at the winter market at some point or other over the course.
That's
Danny.
Awesome. So that's really, really cool. So we've come to a point there. So we're going hour and 10. So that's really, really cool. So,
I thought I'd be more shell shocked by this point.
No. See, it's like I said. This is a really chilled and laid back thing that we don't harass. There's nothing like that. There's no pressure. This is just chilled.
Oh, you forget, I'm very shy, you know. I'm very shy and retiring.
Bollocks. So you're looking forward to getting back into the field next year, then?
Yeah, I need to get rid of some of this stock. It's getting in the way.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I've done what I can to help, and that. So I mean, monies that we get, it all goes to buying stuff from traders to try to help out, because everyone's struggling at the moment. And then
Everyone's been really. Yeah, I mean, it was a little. I mean, when we first had this thing kick off, and we're all looking at our calendar suddenly disappearing. Oh, it's going to be a lean winter.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that I can do more and help out more, because everything I do is I have to keep on saying to people, so I get nothing for doing this. I'm making absolutely zero. I think with the raffle that I did where I bought these weapons, I'm actually losing money doing this. So, but it's helping out new people, and it's been a fantastic thing to do, to show it all off, and it's great fun. It's absolutely fantastic fun, and then I get to speak to wonderful people, sort of like yourself, and get to have chats with people like yourself, and who are passionate about doing all of this stuff like I am, passionate about doing this.
It's part of the community. I mean, the entirety of this year, I've been trying to basically live life out loud. So if I make something, I put it up online. I mean, I've been trying to be very visual with a lot of our online presence of late. So we'll build a load of stuff. Before I start painting, I like to show people, right, we've done this. Does anyone have an idea what colour I paint this shield? And just trying to involve the community a little bit more in what we do.
Yeah.
Because I could usually spend every day in the workshop making stuff, stick it on the shop, but it's neither here nor there. That's running a business. This is running a community.
Yeah.
Or at least being.
So, have you ever been asked to do like the make things for people who aren't going to LARP or anything like that? So, like purely for the cosplay side of it. So.
I mean, we do a lot of film props, a lot of film replicas, that sort of thing. I've done the supernatural Bowie knife about 50 times over the course of the years. The Witcher's sword, that's another very popular piece.
Yeah.
But when Lord of the Rings came out, the very first time Lord of the Rings, I made the Ranger sword hundreds of times over the years. It's a beautiful sword. It's a very, very nice, comfortable weapon.
Yeah.
But I've made hundreds of them.
Yeah. No longer interested in that one. Okay, that's really cool. So do you go to like these conventions and stuff like that, like Comic-Con and stuff like that?
The downside with the cosplay shows is often they clash with a show we have to go to with LARP. I try to make time for them. I mean, I'm in a lot of the societies and groups online. I like to get involved. I'm making this. Does anyone get any ideas on how I make this bit work? If I've got an idea on how to make it work, I like to chime in. Just sort of building. I mean, I've got a lot of ideas from cosplay shows as well. There's like some of the LED or the wires you can put into stuff to get some nice light effects. Like, I've got an idea for a Balrog costume. I could just walk it out the labyrinth cave system, just glowing. That would look amazing.
That's incredible. I'd love to see that. So I think that's your challenge now. You have to go and make one of those.
That's a very fun site to have a go on. And I understand they started doing their events again. But we did a Heroes and Dragons down there. And I took my red dragon. And we got this nice little tunnel network. And I managed to fill the space with this dragon. So the players are coming around the corner. And all the light effects are going. And it just caves. It was a beautiful scene. I was watching it from inside the dragon, really going, "This looks amazing." Don't know what they look. trying to find sites that you can just get lost in the immersion.
Yeah.
It's something I really enjoy doing. Like we were saying about the iLarp site. It's all so well built up now and so well enmeshed. It looks amazing. So I'm playing a Viking and I'm in a Viking village.
Yeah.
Or if I'm playing I want to be a hero and I'm walking around these labyrinth caves. It just helps you lose yourself into the game. And I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
It gets harder as you get older. Again, it goes back to that. You've just got to stop feeling like an idiot and just go for it.
Yeah, because we all look like idiots at the end of the day. That's
I'm
part of the fun.
help.
Yeah, that's part of the fun of it. It's really really nice. I did a stream with I talk about it a lot because it's one of this. I'm so proud of it. There's a LARP's TV series that was shown, internet series, and they had a lot of their stuff, and it was like showing LARP in a. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be awful. They're just going to take the piss constantly." No.
You've been burned before.
Oh yeah, massively so. But they were all so. Everything was positive. Everything was done properly, apart from the LARP combat. That was all very much choreographed and stuff like that, and it looked really, really nicely done. But they were all. It's like they're all role players. They're all LARPers. And they're all writers, and they had backing of Geek and Sundry, and they were like, "Yeah, this is what we do," and it's amazing. And it was just like, "Yeah, this is positive media, positive on the media. What's this for LARP? I've never experienced this before. It's normally, we're all devil worshippers, and we're all doing all of this sort of shit." But
I've got some stories about that, but I'll leave that for another day.
That's fantastic. So. Thank you so much for doing this, Darren. I really, really appreciate it. It's I want to do. I mean, feel free to because you're in the Discord. Where can I find this LARP show? Just Google LARPs the series. To be honest, and they're in there. Or if you go in our general chat on Discord and scroll up, it's up there. It's all linked in there as well. So yeah, if you hang around if you leave yourself logged within the Discord server and that, I'm sure that because I want to create a specific traders group as well to put links to the traders shops in, and then if people want to ask you a question about like, how do I do this with a weapon or this with a weapon or something like that, then at least then they can just chuck you a message and that. So one day you'll probably find that you got a few hundred because it's happened to me before. So it's people are saying that would be helpful. So I think that'll be something quite nice, and then I can at least assign things to you. Helen has said, "How can I buy all the things?" So yeah, it's pretty good. So and I will say this as someone who has just bought from you, you are it's really quick to go from when you clicked on it to buy it to the email to it arriving. Obviously, apart from when I went camping and I had to say to you, "Can you deliver it on Monday instead?" So I mean,
I'm about to send it out the door when I got that message. Oh wait, okay.
Yeah. So, but I was one of the lucky ones. I managed to get away camping and see people who I LARP with, and the only downside was that I was up drinking until 4 a.m. one of the nights, and that was on the day before we had to leave. So traveling home. Oh, like 6 hours later. Yeah, not great fun. Not fun. So, but Stoda Kuriga said, needs me a rune fang. So, but he needs money. But they need money first. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what that is.
So what sort of what films have you done work on then?
It's lots of little stuff. There's not really anything that's worthy of naming. It's like we get brought in to do little props. We don't really know much about a lot of the productions. I need a knife for this scene. Okay, we'll make the knife. And then occasionally they'll tell us what it is. So there's a whole list of films we've done, but I couldn't name half of them.
No, because I did some filming a few weeks back for a medieval version of GTA, of Grand Theft Auto, and that was set in an old set in a living village, and that was great fun. That was so much fun to do in that. So it's and we got to take all our LARP stuff along to that, and they were using that on the filming, and that the only thing that we had to tell the actor to do when he was holding his bastard sword was that at one point he was holding it and it was tipped down and he was just holding it there and he was like prodding the ground with it, and there was but yeah, most of the production people there, they're all LARPers, so we're going up to him and going, yeah, don't do that, please don't do that, otherwise you owe that person over there a sword. And it's like, oh, okay. So, but it was great fun. It was great fun to do. So, yeah, so that's the links for Irregular Props there. So give that a go and have a look at that. Hefty Yeti Discord is the best Discord. I know, it's great. So thanks everyone for coming along to watch. Thank you, Darren and wife, for doing this. And that I really appreciate it. So I'll close I'm going to bring the stream to a close there. So Darren, if you hang on for a little bit, so it all closes down and stuff like that. So great stream, thanks guys. Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming along, and I'll probably pop into chat briefly afterwards and say hello. So yeah, see you all soon. Everyone, take care, stay safe, and we'll speak later.